Hi, I'm Conor Svensson, founder and CEO of Web3 Labs. We're a blockchain technology company. I'm here today to talk about the Eth2 network. The new public Ethereum network, Eth2, is about to launch, and the coming weeks present a great opportunity to be involved with the network from day one. The launch of this network is the culmination of multiple years of effort by thousands of individuals across the Ethereum community. After Bitcoin, the Ethereum network is the most widely used blockchain network and is the one that hosts the majority of the world's blockchain applications. However, there are a couple of issues with the current Ethereum network. One of these is that it uses a lot of electricity to run, like the Bitcoin network. And the other, it simply cannot handle the volume of transactions that people want to throw at it. This was really started when the CryptoKitties application was launched a couple of years ago, but we've really seen its challenge this year as well with the launch of decentralized finance applications, where it's really started to hit a wall running at full capacity all the time. The Eth2 network is the first significant step to actually address these issues with the current public Ethereum network. There are some proposed workarounds, such as taking some of these transactions off the main Ethereum network onto other networks. However, these are more intermediary things. Fundamentally, we need to ensure that the Ethereum network does not use huge amounts of electricity to run and it can scale to a much greater number of transactions. The Eth2 network has been in research for a number of years, and the actual delivery of it is split into 3 phases. You have phases 0, 1, and 2. Phase 0 is the one that's coming up, which is called the Beacon Chain, and this is due to launch on the 1st of December. Phase 1 is the creation of shards in the Eth2 network, which you can think of as multiple sub-networks that have been created that are all tied into the main Beacon Chain. And then finally, phase 2 is the launch of execution environments that will enable you to plug in different types of applications onto the Ethereum network that don't use what is currently the Ethereum's default runtime environment, the Ethereum virtual machine. During last year, we saw the creation of the Eth2 Phase 0 specification, and off the back of that, a number of teams started developing Eth2 clients. This time, there are 4 different clients available. So the first of these is Lighthouse by Sigma Prime. You also have Teku by Consensus, Prism by Prism Labs, and Nimbus by Status. The reason why the Eth2 network is so important is because ultimately the current Ethereum network will move on to it once it's fully proven. By participating on the Eth2 network, you actually stake Ether and get a return for staking that Ether by ensuring the network runs smoothly. And so this is an incentive for people to actually get involved with the network. So if you're involved with the Eth2 network at the offset, it means that you can put Ether into the network and see a return on that Ether as the network processes transactions. This is a significant change from the existing way that the public Ethereum network runs, which requires people to run miners which use a lot of electricity. So if you want to get involved with the Eth2 network right now, what you need to do is actually run Eth2 software in order to do this. So I mentioned there were 4 different clients available: Lighthouse, Teku, Prism, and Nimbus. You need to select a client, and then you actually need to run that client. So right now, if you actually want to get involved with the Eth2 network, I recommend you start by heading to launchpad.ethereum.org. There you can find instructions for how to run your own client so that you're ready for when the network launches. However, it's not just a question of running a client. What you have to do is you need to ensure that you have an Eth1 client available, you have an Eth2 client that's running, and then you also need an Eth2 validator client, which basically takes your Ether and stakes it on the network so that as the network runs and blocks get produced and transactions get processed, you'll start to see a return on that Ether. If you don't get involved right now, there'll be other opportunities too down the line, but as is always the case with these things, the rewards are greatest for those who take the risk at the beginning. In addition to the Eth2 Launchpad, you also have communities on Reddit in EthStaker and Discord channels for all of the different Eth2 clients as well, where you can speak to the community about how to get started. So what you need to do is you need to take at least 32 Ether and actually stake that, which means transferring it to a smart contract that's running on the current Ethereum network. And that basically locks up your Ether until the Eth2 network becomes live and can actually process transfers of Eth2 crypto between individuals. It's estimated that by locking up ETH in the Eth2 network, it's going to be locked up for 1.5 to 2 years, while the infrastructure is built to support the transfer of ETH between different accounts. During that time, you should see a return on it, Depending on how many other people are participating in the network, that will affect how big the return is. There's metrics to support this on the Eth2 Launchpad site. Also, the way in which keys are done on the Eth2 network is different to Eth1. When you go through the process on the Eth2 Launchpad, you create what is called a mnemonic, which is a series of words which is used to identify your Eth2 wallet. From this, you have what is called a validator key, which is derived from that. And that validator key is used to actually stake on the Eth2 network. It sounds complex, but it isn't. The instructions on the Eth2 Launchpad are very good for actually following this process through. But what it does mean is that with your keys for the Eth2 network, you need to keep them very safe, because that's what you're going to need to use to retrieve your funds down the line. Of course, by being one of the stakers at the beginning of the network, the returns are going to be greatest then, but it also comes with the most risk as well. And so this is why the returns are best there. But ultimately, by contributing to it, you're investing in the future of the network. And this is where the appeal is for a lot of people who want to see the new Ethereum network succeed. So the Eth2 network should be launching at the start of next month on December the 1st. Now's a great time to get involved with this network launch, just so you can get across the technology, but you can also be one of the early adopters as well, which is pretty cool. Personally, I think it's the most significant network launch since the original Ethereum network. But either way, it's a lot of fun to be there right at the beginning. I'd love to hear what you think about the Eth2 network and if you're planning to get involved.